Welcome to EVOLV, where we have fearless, unfiltered, unapologetic conversation with host Chanel Spencer, author, speaker, and CEO of Maximum Evolution. Are you ready? I hope you're ready.
Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to an episode of EVOLV, where we have fearless, unfiltered, and unapologetic conversation. And I hope that you are ready for today's episode, because most of you by now, if you've been paying attention, we're doing a special series for our lovely project, The Evolution Effect, where I had 21 authors, including myself, talk about how they have overcome adversities, broken patterns, and have stepped into their greatness. So today we have an amazing author that is part of this project, Miss Noreen Henry. Actually, let me correct myself. Noreen N. Henry. Say hello to the beautiful people.
Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for having me, Chanel, on your show. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Thank you for being a part of this project. I'm super excited to be able to share your story because it is powerful. You're powerful. So listen, I like to surround myself by powerhouse people because that's just what it is, period. And so let me just tell you a little bit about Noreen and Henry. Actually, this is her second time on the show. So welcome back, honey. Welcome back.
Thank you. I feel so honored.
Is that great? Then we had to bring her back. Okay. So Noreen and Henry is the Victorious Living Strategist, who is known for her knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, along with instant results. One of her passions is transforming lives from defeat to victory. She's a powerful coach, international speaker, trainer, author, and health educator, and she's a multiple #1 international bestseller who has authored 10 plus books. And let's not forget that she is from England, child. Okay, she is from England. She is internationally known. Okay, period. She's amazing, and I'm super excited. So thank you again, for being here with us. So my first question is:
You are welcome.
No worries. Why did you choose the title that you did for your chapter, which is super powerful? Back to myself and truly owning my life.
I chose that title because it's about what happened with my life. I was not able to own it properly, and part of it is to do it's actually started from childhood, really. So, and then going up through my life, coming to a point where, wait, this is not what I want, and then after that, gaining knowledge and moving on and really on in my life, right? Because people was trying to change me into something I was not. So that's why I named it that, back to myself and truly on in my life. Because like now I'm truly on in my life. I don't care what somebody says that they want for me. I do what I want for me now.
Right. Listen, that's like a hard lesson for so many people to learn, is to do what's best for you and forget about everybody else, because you'll sit here living your life for other people and be miserable. So it's super important, one, to, like you said, take ownership of your life and the direction that it's going in, but also to own your life and living your best life and achieving your dreams and going for whatever you're passionate about and whatever it is that you want to achieve, because it's possible. Like there's nothing there are things that you have to overcome or that can hold you back, but it's up to you to make the decision to own your life. So I love that. I love that. So tell us a little bit more about your chapter.
So my chapter talks about, it actually starts from things that were happening from I was born, actually. So and so that's what led to part of it led to the things that happened to my life, right? Like charted the course of my life. And so it's just, things just kept adding to it, where I could not, even one of the things, I could not choose the field that I wanted to work in. It was chosen for me, right? So this is like, to when I reflect and to see how far back it goes, where I couldn't own my life the way I wanted to, right? And so that's all of these things came into play to shape why I could not it's like I wasn't allowed to be myself, right? I wasn't allowed to, like, something was wrong with me, something was wrong with the decisions that I wanted to make. So I couldn't own my life the way I wanted to. So that's why it's such a big thing now. And then not only for me, but with me speaking about my experiences, I know it will help others, because it's not only about me.
Mm-hmm. Right. Wow. So I was reading
pretty deep.
Right. I was reading one of your chapters. I mean, sorry, I was reading your chapter, and I one piece that stood out to me was when you said there's a saying that you choose someone like your father for females and you choose someone like your mother for males. This is not done on purpose, but that's how it worked out for me. One of the examples that showed the statement to be true was being shut down for being myself. Right.
Yep.
So how did from you being shut down from being yourself, how did that impact you as an adult and the decisions that you made or didn't make?
Well, it made me feel bad, right? So it made me feel bad. So it made me feel that I'm not valuable. And this is why I say it goes back to, like, from the beginning, right? Because words were said to me. So those words reinforced that I'm not valuable. So the things that happened, everything that was happening reinforced it, right? So with shutting down when I was a teenager and then shut down when I was an adult, it just made me feel very bad about myself. So then now I'm staying internal.
Right.
So then it's like, okay, because really that's what it is. I couldn't really do what I wanted to do. And it was the same thing from a teenager that I wanted to do, that I wanted to do again when I had that opportunity, and I was shut down again. So I'm not valued. That's how it comes across. What I want to do is not of value.
Right. And how did that
So I feel
translate?
bad about myself.
Right. And how did that translate on how you navigated in life?
Well, part of it was shutting down, right? I wasn't fully pursuing the things that I really wanted to do, not fully. So part of it was shutting down, and then part of it was still moving forward at the same time, right? So I was still working at my job and still, because I'm an avid reader, so I was still reading my books and everything. So it was like kind of in between, like shutting down a bit, plus still moving, but not moving like, say, like the pace I'm moving now, right? So that's what it was. Part of it was shutting down. Okay, I'm not valued, feel bad about it. But another aspect that was with that was emotional eating, right?
Right.
So that's another part of all of this.
Right.
So
So
it produces these kind of things.
right. So when you have like traumatic experiences or challenges or things that impact you as a person, it literally translates into your life in different ways, and sometimes you don't even realize that it's happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just you recognize the emotional eating piece, but that wasn't something that you automatically knew. It was something that you learned as you grew. You know what I'm saying? Does it make sense? And so a lot of people have to understand that there are certain things that are like large scale or small scale that will literally impact the spectrum of our lives, how we deal with people, how we behave, how we react, how like literally everything that has happened to you up until this point has been, and how you are as a person is literally dictated by your past experiences. And if you don't understand and know or are aware of it, then you never truly can be free from it.
Right. So again, that's the key too, awareness, right? Because I'll give you the example with emotional eating. When I started doing it, I did not know that that's what I was doing, right? I just was eating the wrong things, eating when something was wrong, and it just developed into other things. So it was like, I don't remember the time frame, but it had to be a few years later when I learned about emotional eating to know that that's what it was that I was doing, right? So even though I started that, it took a while before I knew that that's what it was. So that there's a name for it.
Right.
And it goes back to, as a result of not valuing myself, not being happy because of not having the value from others, right? Of what I wanted to do.
Right. Super true. Super true.
So
So
it
what
just
we
goes deeper when you don't have the awareness of it. So that when you don't have the awareness of it, it won't change.
Right.
And so then it
Absolutely.
just gets deeper and deeper and deeper.
Right. There's so many examples that come to my mind for, like, even for myself, where if I didn't become aware of where I was and where I was and how I was feeling, why I was feeling, I probably would be like a ticking time bomb every 5 seconds of the day, angry, miserable, like depressed every five, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And for some, like, they have like traumatic like childhood experiences, and sometimes they suppress it. Sometimes it has such an impact on them that mentally they're still that age. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yep.
They've never grown.
Only in body.
Right. Exactly. And like, that's why it's so important to literally own your life, and to, like, things happen, like there are some things that happen to us and it is like terrible, and we can sit and we can look back and just be like, oh well, this fall victim to what our experiences are, right? And sometimes you just become engulfed by the things that you've gone through, and it's human. It's going to happen because at the end of the day we have emotions, we have, you know, all those things that come with traumatic experiences. But at some point we have to be strong enough and want more for ourselves and have self-love enough to say, yeah, I'm not going to allow that to have control and dictate my life, because if you don't, like you said, it just comes out in a different way. Honestly.
Yeah, because if we don't too, we become numb to things, and we become numb to it. We don't even realize that we're numb to it. And then it becomes the norm, like being in it so long, it becomes the norm. So you're not even realizing that it's wrong. It's not, it's a lot. You're not realizing it's wrong. Well, to a degree, right? Because it's the norm. So to a degree, you're not seeing how wrong it is. But then there is still a part where like you know it's wrong, but how do you change it?
Right.
So you need help. So then how do you get the help? Like, we were raised not to be talking about stuff, right? Not to be telling people your stuff, but you can't not go to counselors, like, but that's where you get the help. That's where I got my inner healing, and I'm still healing by going and getting that help.
And that's like oh, you just said something that's like so true. Like, we literally have grown up in a society where talking your truth and exposing what you're going through and being open about it is like frowned upon. And it's like, no, you need to share your story. You need to get it out, because that's how people like literally get sick. Because they're just holding it in, and then that's how people like Lance said something. I was really good at putting on a mask, child. Like, you wouldn't know 5 minutes ago I was having the meltdown of a lifetime. Like, there were times in the office, I would be in my office and I would be crying and this being like the end of the world, and then I would just like suck my tears, and I don't know how I did, but I did, and walk out, and nobody even knew that I just had that meltdown. And it's because, like you said, you're just so used to having to put on the face and make sure, and showing that everything is great, because you don't want to show anybody any form of weakness. You're so used to having to be the superhero and the super shero, and you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
that's
like,
key right there. Right.
Like, girl, I need help. Like, I'm about to go crazy. And that's how people that's how people literally go crazy, because they're just depressed, because they're just holding, they're suppressing, and they're just holding. And when you release it, it just like, Lord, it just feels
it's freeing.
So freeing. Oh my goodness. Like, whew. You think I'm gonna sit and talk about domestic abuse that I went through 44 years ago? It's not 44 years, I'm just saying, but a long time ago. Like, I am so over that, but I know that me sharing that story will just like spark something in somebody else. You see what I'm saying? And it's also still me still healing from it. Even though it was years ago, I'm still, me talking about it is now me it's still a form of me taking my power back, essentially. Because during that time, I felt powerless. During that time, I was silent. During that time, I felt like a victim. So me sharing my story just makes you feel, it's so freeing. Like, and it shows your progression as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you're sharing from a place of power, right?
Exactly.
Not pity.
Yep, exactly. So another part that I read in your chapter that I thought was really, really great, I had it and then I scrolled, I don't know how, but I did. But I found another piece, is in being unhappy for so many years with the layers and layers of brokenness, my heart became hard. I know this because when I was going through the issues with my former husband and ending our marriage relationship, I didn't cry.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Did not at all. I remember one time like thinking, how come I'm not crying? And I remember one time I was forcing myself.
Right.
But I didn't, and so I know that at the time I didn't know my heart was hard. It was like how many years later, again, of having the awareness to know that that's what it was. My heart was hard. My heart was hard from
right. And
with
it also could have been a coping mechanism too, because sometimes you like don't want like you to avoid having the emotional or realizing what or being present with what's happening with the reality of situations. You'll just like shut down. I do that all the time. I'm just like, I am not about to give this any time, energy. So before I do, or I know how I can become or give the power to that situation, I'll just shut down and be like, I don't care. Knowing inside, I'm like, girl, what is happening?
Just keep going.
But and it's a defense / coping mechanism, because it's a way for you to have control again of a situation that you feel completely powerless and out of control.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because I know as a part of it too is like the numbing, right? Because of going through things for so many years, like years ago, I remember like with stuff I would cry, and then eventually I got to the point where you're going through, and so I didn't cry no more.
Right. Listen.
It's just and that's when the hardness of heart was developing, right? Then I didn't know.
No, I get it. Like there's like I said earlier, like that we all just experience things and we all have different reactions to different things. Like, you know what I mean? Like somebody, like how you went completely numb and didn't cry, didn't have feelings. Somebody else might be like losing their mind and now we on 9 o'clock news. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's just I mean, I'm speaking that because that's how I could get sometimes, just saying, just being honest. Like, and so in order for me not to lose my mind or go off, I literally do exactly what you said. And for some, they don't know, they're not aware of it, so they don't know, and that's how they just lose control and just lash out. Or you have like an emotional breakdown. Now you're in the mental hospital. Like, you know what I mean? Like everybody.
Right. It's reactions to the whatever is going on.
Absolutely. We all have challenges and faces traumas, but everybody processes things
differently.
Right. Exactly. Like for
because
you, it was the emotional eating. For me, I want to eat. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it just,
and it used to be the opposite when years ago it was the opposite, and so it switched to emotional eating.
Right.
And it's like at what point I realized, like, what, like, how did I even get this? Like,
I can't. And I just realized something, because we're about to ask what's next for you, but I'm about to snitch on. I'm about to say it too, because I see that you have your, because you know you like to be modest sometimes, so you know I'll spoon to the mountains for you. So you have your TV talk show, Victorious Living with Noreen. I love that. So tell us a little bit about that.
That's another opportunity that came up, and it's all the leading of the Lord, right? So that show is going to be teaching victorious living, and also having guests. Like, for example, you would be the guest and talking about your story and how you overcame. And this show is to help people. That's what it is. That's what victorious living is, to help people to live victoriously.
Yes.
So it's
you heard that right.
Exciting.
I'm gonna be a guest, so make sure you watch. Just say it.
It's just awesome, and it's just like, wow. And this is with owning my life, because you know, years ago I didn't think that I would be having a TV show, right? And I wouldn't, if it came up, the opportunity came up years ago, I wouldn't have done it. But I'm a different person. I'm at a different place now because of truly owning myself, truly being my authentic self, even though I'm still a work in progress, right? Because there's still healing going on. I think healing is forever, because different things come up anyway in life. I keep working on myself. We're not perfect people.
You know, I really wish I was perfect, because it would just, you know.
It would make it easy. Then you don't have to.
Exactly. Like, oh gosh, Lord. But you know, it is what it is.
I understand, right? I understand.
I wish.
But yeah, so it's super exciting. And like, I know you say, because you always say that I'm modest, but part of it is I just keep going. That's part of it. And then the other part of it is the negativity that will come up, right? With what you're doing. So I know that's part of it. But so there's like a couple of parts to why it is, and it's just because I just keep going. That's all it is as well. I just keep going.
Completely get it. But what you like? You said okay. So let's talk about that real quick. You know, it's coming over. So like, what it is that sometimes when you're not around the right people, they will make you. They will find a way to bring down what it is that you do, because some people don't have the capacity or the mindset to understand what's happening. You see what I'm saying? So instead of being like, yay, and being a cheerleader, they find some way to minimize it or bring it down or not really clap and be excited. And it makes you feel discouraged in sharing ultimately. And then at the same time, you don't want to feel like you're bragging. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then let me tell you something. When you got the right people, they will celebrate with you. They'll have a party. They'll do they'll do everything. And I had to learn that, honestly, because in growing, and I was the exact same way. And I still am to some extent. And I'm more that way because I don't want to I don't like to share things. Like, not share things like sharing information. I don't care. I'll tell you whatever. Like, oh, you need help with this? All right, but just like putting things out there, because some people with their mindsets and their capacity the same way will say things or do things to sabotage you from getting that success or achieving that goal. So that's part of why I don't say something, because that's what I've experienced
as well
coming up, right? Also, it's the part of dimming your light so that it doesn't shine too bright, because you don't want to piss anybody else off or make anybody else feel less than. But it's like, no, I worked hard, child. Like, I worked hard to get here.
That's it, because
you know what I'm saying? So you got it. And also it's the part of not celebrating yourself. Like, you're just you're so used to just like, all right, check that off next. Check that off next.
Yeah.
No, like, enjoy the moment, celebrate. Like, she did a amazing. Listen, she ain't gonna do it. I'll do it for her. Amazing virtual conference. Like, it was so good. Like, so good. So if you didn't come to the Living Your Best Life Now, with the capital NOW at the end, Now conference, you missed out. So make sure you get your ticket for the 3rd annual conference. Just saying. It was phenomenal. Like, it was phenomenal.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
Thank
you know
you.
what I mean? And sometimes you can feel disheartened because certain people don't clap for you. But who cares? Like, whatever. Like, you don't gotta clap for me. I got somebody else to clap for me. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to remember that sometimes it's their own issue. Like,
yes,
yep. And it's their mindset and it's their capacity. So again, how people treat you is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of them. And don't mind dim your light. Okay, you just get some shades. I'm gonna tell you.
No, because that's why I like when you posted about it, and you said to celebrate for the next 3 months, I think you said, and like that's what I received that, right? I received that, and I don't know if you saw it, but I put to hold me accountable.
Yes, like, you know, hopefully by now, or by, you know, at some point, you know, we can have a celebratory drink. Listen, Noreen don't like to drink, but I be trying to force. I'm not gonna lie to you. I be like, girl, if you don't just have some wine, and she'll do a little wine. I'm trying to get her to do shots and stuff. Don't really work that well, but I'm just saying, maybe we can have a celebratory shot or something so that you.
And you have to see her fighting me too.
I'm like, girl, if you don't take peer pressure at his best. But no, like I love everything that you're doing. I'm super excited.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. Thank you.
Your talk show, congratulations. I know it's going to be amazing.
Thank you very much.
Deserve it. Like, you worked hard, and everything that you've
gone through. You're gonna make me cry.
I'm sorry. Everything that you've gone through is literally now what you're receiving is your retribution, I guess, reparations for what you went through in the past, and you're just making that decision to show up every day, and that's the key. Like, even it, like, Lord, let me tell you something. I woke up this morning, I don't want to do anything. No, but you have to just make that choice to make that one step. It doesn't have to be the Mount Everest, top of the mountain. Just take that one step toward your goal, and that's all you have to do. And it could be the smallest thing. Like for me, getting up out of bed and going on social media and making sure my posts are active, that was a step. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just saying. For some, like, write that book. For some, write that chapter. For some, whatever it is, just take that one step. So do you have any final words for our lovely people?
Okay, final words. Yes, victorious living is possible. There is always hope, and really analyze your life. Like I did a conference a couple months ago, and the question that I had to ask a question to the audience, and it was, I dare you. Like, what do you dare them to do? So I dare you to analyze your life, right? To truly analyze your life to see if you're living that victorious life that you're supposed to be living, because it's possible, and there is always hope.
Right. Yes. And I'm sorry, I just took over your what's next segment. Is there anything else that you want to add for what's next for you?
That's fine, because that's what I was gonna say that anyway. So thank you. What's next for me is, yes, as you said, the TV show, and I'm working on sponsors for that, and also I have working on the anthology with you, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. I thank you for the invite for that. So I feel privileged to be a part of that, and I have other things, like I'm working on another book, couple of books, so more things will be in the pipeline. I'm working to work on things one at a time.
Yes, listen.
So
I understand. Like I thank God for all the downloads that He gives me, but Lord, I've been like, oh.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
But then you want to do everything now. It's just like, all right, can we pause on the download for like 5? Like, all right, can we come back to that?
Right, exactly, right.
No, all right, just give it to me. It's fine.
I have enough now. Don't you think I have enough now? Like, no, they keep coming. They keep coming, and just put them in a notebook.
Right. Oh man, so funny. So funny.
It's all good stuff. It's like all good stuff. All good stuff. I'm so thankful to be here.
Oh, no, thank you for being a part. Thank you for being on the show. Second time around. It'll probably be a third or fourth. Just saying, I know. But I appreciate you and how you shared your story and was so transparent, and you did a really great job. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to our lovely listening audience. As a matter of fact, I lost another piece. How can we connect with you? That's important too. Like, now we had this whole conversation. How do we get more from you? How do we connect with you?
There's my website, NoreenNHenry.com. It's Noreen N with an extra N in the middle.com. And there's my email, victoriouslivingculture@gmail.com. And I am on social media, Noreen N Henry, Facebook, Instagram is Living the Blessed Life 2. And even LinkedIn is Noreen N Henry. So I'm on social media. Once you put my name in, you'll find me, and put the middle initial, you'll find me right away.
Well, thank you for being on the show today. And everybody, make sure you connect with Noreen N, key letter, and Henry. Is there anything else that you want to share with the people?
Just own your lives. Own your lives. If you need help with it, we're here to help you, but own your life. It truly makes a difference in how we show up in the world, right? So truly own your life.
Well, thank you to everybody for tuning in. I love you, all of my listening audience. You are phenomenal. And thank you for always being on in the check-in and listening to all of our episodes. If you haven't heard any of the other offers, make sure you go back and check them out too. I appreciate you and your time, Miss Noreen and Henry. And for all of the lovely listeners, I heart you lots, and I'll see you next time. Bye, beautiful people.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to EVOLV. Stay fearless, unfiltered, and unapologetic. Until next time, special shout out to all of our amazing listeners. You are truly appreciated. Follow our host, Chanel Spencer, at Chanel Spencer Now on Instagram and Facebook. Songs I'm From the South by D21 from Black Mob Entertainment off the 720 God album. Find him on Instagram at only D21.
I'm from the South. I'm from the South. Unit 10. Straight out the South. We'll hit this rock gold teeth straight out your mouth. My niggas don't know peace. Fuck is you saying though? Homies he playing though. Know my old dudes bring more than a candle. Bring the heat to them. There they keep talking. Know that they would end. Little dogs barking. Step across the line.